Hi everybody, this is Larry Randolph. I just wanted to take a quick second here before the video starts and tell you that we have drawn for the templates for the Sweetheart Bowl that I did a couple weeks back. And Sugar Britches, my wife, you know, the light of my darkness, she actually drew the names from a box that I had, and we drew Mark Warnow. Now there's no nepotism involved, but I do know this guy, this goober. He's one of my fellow members with the Woodturners of Southwest Missouri. And I think it's going to be a challenge for him because he's never turned a platter. So I'm looking forward to maybe getting with him on that and seeing what we can turn out. He turns a lot of pins and shaving brushes and things like that. And I think he's ready to start turning platters. So thank you, Mark, for entering. Thanks everybody else for entering and subscribing. I hope that you'll go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe after you watch this video. I'm going to go ahead and let Larry introduce Trent Bosch now. Okay, so we're standing here in the shop, and I'm lucky enough to have Trent Bosch with me this week. He's here locally doing some hands-on classes for the Woodturners of Southwest Missouri, and I had the opportunity to have him come by, and we're going to show just a little bit about shear scraping. One of the better ways to save sandpaper, right?
I think so, yeah. And
okay.
With the shear scraping, I try and get as good a cut as I possibly can with my tools other than shear scraping, with the shearing cut off my gouge.
Right.
But there are times when I kind of get humps or bumps or ridges that I just don't want in the piece. And that shear scraping just can take a very, very small amount of material away and just knock off that little area that's just not working for me. So
right.
It's an invaluable tool to have in your arsenal of techniques for turning. So right. I'm here to just show you what I do, and most of the time I work with the swept back grind bowl gouge. That's kind of my tool of choice because it's always in my hand. You know, I'm almost always using this tool to do a lot of the turning that I do. And being able to use this particular tool as a shear scraping tool is super valuable because it's just right there. You can just quickly turn it around and get that shear scrape and then continue on with your project.
Excellent.
So let's go ahead and show you a couple things. If I have torn out grain I'm having difficulty taking care of, I can use this tool. And I also mentioned if I have some humps or bumps or ridges in here, I'm going to use this technique to take care of that material. A couple things to pay attention to with the shear scrape is the tool, the angle of the tool, the angle of the flute. So those are the two main important things that I'm going to deal with. If we just bring this tool up so it's level with the tool rest, with the bed of the lathe and everything, and I'm cutting with that bottom edge of the tool, that's just going to be a scraping cut. So that's not going to be as clean or nice as a shear scraping cut. The more we start to drop that handle, the more of a shearing action we're going to get off of that cutter, and then we're going to be able to get a nice clean cut and also get sort of a scraping cut that's just going to blend in that bump or that hump or without trying to remove too much.
Okay, and pardon this camera in the frame, but I wanted to be able to get a good close-up of this. Did you say, I was focused on the camera, about what angle are you going to start at, and will you keep the same angle all the way across the face of the bowl?
Yeah, I definitely will keep that same angle, although I mean the more I bring it up, the straighter up the tool is, the nicer of a shearing action it's going to create, and the flatter it is, the more of a scraping action. So I usually say about a 45-degree angle or so is a really good place to start. And what we're looking to get off of here when we're using that is a nice sort of a shear, a long stringy shaving. You see that shaving that just got pulled off of there? That's kind of what we're looking to get. And if you see a bunch of those coming off, you kind of know you have the right angle. If you have your tool like this is at that, you know, flat 90-degree angle, and we look what's in the flute with that, it's just more dusty type stuff or not really the kind of long stringy stuff we're looking for. So this isn't going to be good, but as soon as we bring it up at this angle, we're going to get that long, that long shaving coming off of there. So
angel hair.
Angel hair, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. So let's turn the lathe on real quick, and we'll get a close-up of this, and you can. And I like to go both directions, so one or the other is going to end up being smoother. And I'll stop if it's really important to me. I'll stop the lathe and double check and kind of see what direction is getting me that smoother cut. And I find it's different in some woods than others, and definitely with the grain orientation that I have on the piece. But you see those long sort of stringy pieces coming off there. That's what we're after. The key is close that flute up so that that top edge is almost touching, but just then back it off just a smidge, and then move the tool back and forth lightly. I've got the tool on the tool rest so I can just pivot the tool handle to get it to go into the wood. If that top edge does get into the wood, it's not going to be a big deal. It's probably not going to be as nice a finish as we potentially want, but it's not going to get a catch or a grab, which is going to be an issue. However, if we open this up too much, we could potentially ride that bevel there, but as soon as we get off that bevel just a little bit, one way or the other, it's going to catch and take a big chunk out of there. And that's where people end up with trouble. And I hear people saying, you know, I don't like shear scraping. It just doesn't work for me. It's such a simple technique if you do it properly, but there's a lot of ways, just like anything in wood turning, to do it improperly. And I've got the lathe spinning relatively slow here. We could go faster with this. We could go slower with it, but you can kind of just find the...
And speak to this, Trent, on, you know, obviously this is really nice green cherry. It's only been down about a week.
Yeah.
What if it's a good cured dry bowl?
It's the same technique, the same process works really good with dry wood and green wood. You might get nicer, longer, stringier shavings coming off of the green stuff than you do with the dry stuff, but the same principle works, and you really will get sort of the same nice finish that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and that's right off the tool. So the goal, I think, with shear scraping is sand less, turn more.
Help take off some of the tool marks at the same time, not just tear out and such, but the tool marks as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Any of that stuff that's not attractive in that piece, you can try and get rid of.
I know a lot of people, and I, like you were showing the flat scraping, a lot of people will do a lot of finish shaping that way, but it appears to me that it makes just as much sense to use the shear.
Once you get comfortable with it, it's kind of a go-to technique for any kind of final finishing type stuff that you might be doing. It's a handy technique to know and learn and
okay,
use.
Cool. Well, I want to thank Trent. We've got some other videos that we're going to have. With full disclosure, I have worked for Trent. The last 2 videos that he's put out, I've recorded for him, and we'll include links to those for the Surfaces video and Revelations in Hollowing,
Absolutely.
Which is your 25 years of hollowing.
Yep. Showing you all I know about hollowing.
2 hours and 45 minutes. It was a long edit. It really, really was. But no, great videos, and we'll have more for you in another video.
Awesome. Thanks for having me here.
Appreciate it.